I will call the Joint Government Oversight and Finance Audit Budget Committees to order. First item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item is adoption of agenda.
Adopt agenda Romano.
Support.
It's going to be that way. I have a motion to adopt the agenda by Commissioner Romano, supported by Commissioner Koike. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Next is approval of meeting minutes dated July 22nd, 2025. Need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Support, Perna.
I have a motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, supported by Commissioner Perna. Any discussion on the meeting minutes? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Next is our first of two public participation. It's an opportunity for public participation for those who wish to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any agenda item. Anyone from the public wish to be heard? Once, twice, we will close public participation. Next item on the agenda is appointment interviews for the Community Mental Health Board, one vacancy, partial term to expire on March 31st, 2027. First person to be interviewed is Jackie Catinella. Did I get that right, Jackie?
Close enough. Catinella.
I know we just talked yesterday.
Yeah, Catinella. Close enough, though. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jackie Catinella, and I am the parent and legal guardian of two individuals with autism and intellectual and developmental disabilities. My family's received services through Macomb County Community Mental Health since 2011. Over the past 13 years, I've gained extensive lived experience navigating Michigan's public behavioral health system, not only as a caregiver, but also as someone actively working to improve that system for others. Throughout this journey, I've developed a strong foundation in Medicaid policy. I regularly review updates to the Medicaid Provider Manual and subscribe to all the Michigan Department and Health and Human Services policy bulletins and numbered letters. This policy knowledge, paired with my personal experience, has led me to serve in several advocacy roles, both at the local and state levels. I currently serve as the chairperson of the Macomb County Community Mental Health Citizens Advisory Council, where our mission is to enhance the quality and range of care for individuals receiving public mental health services, and to advise the Executive Director and CMH Board on service delivery and policy. I am the co-chairperson of the Beneficiary Advisory Council that was established in response to a CMS rule requiring states to formally include input from current or former Medicaid beneficiaries. The BAC brings together diverse demographics and lived experiences to ensure beneficiary voices are shaped at the state level. As the co-chair of the BAC, I also serve as a on the Medicaid Advisory Committee, where we advise Michigan Department of Health and Human Services on access, quality, and systemic improvements across Medicaid programs. I also participate in the Community Mental Health Association of Michigan's Person Served Advisory Group, a statewide body led by individuals who have received services in the public behavioral health system. Our goal is to ensure that the voices of people served are reflected in policy, practice, and legislative advocacy. All of this work is grounded in one core belief: lived experience is expertise. Individuals and families who rely on behavioral health services, whether mental illness, substance use disorder, or intellectual and developmental disabilities, must have a seat at the table in shaping the systems that impact their lives. We must never lose sight of people behind every policy or funding decision. My sole motivation in applying for the appointment to the Macomb County Community Mental Health Board is to be a strong, informed voice for persons served. As Michigan moves forward with the PIHP procurement process, we're entering a time of significant structural change and potentially disruption in how behavioral health services are managed. It's critical that board members bring not only policy-level knowledge, but also lived experience to guide decision-making. I'm committed to ensuring that the needs of individuals and families remain at the center of every conversation. I'm passionate, informed, and deeply committed to accountability, transparency, and continuous improvements within our public mental health system. I would be honored to bring my experience and perspective to the Macomb County Community Mental Health Board. Thank you.
Jackie, I'm going to ask you and each of the applicants to just give us a short answer to whether they support the central intake center that's being constructed over by the jail.
Oh, yes, I do.
You do.
Yes, as a CAC member, Tracy usually briefs us on all of those things.
Thank you. And thank you for your application.
Thanks.
Next is James Gammicchia. Jim.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Jim Gammicchia, and I come before you, I think this is my third time applying for the Community Mental Health Board. I've been a lifelong government servant and public servant I've been with City of Roseville for the past 5 years, Shelby Township previously to that for about 20 years. I've been a patient and a person served of mental health in the past, and I have lived experience with family as well, currently being served in that capacity. I think I bring a great set of fresh eyes and financial acumen and legislative prowess to the seat at the table, and would be honored to be a part. Happy to answer any questions. Vice Chair Haw, I am a supporter of the jail intake. I think it's a great part of the problem, but they're a part of the solution, but I don't think that everybody who has mental health challenges is going to see those results through the intake center. But I do think it's a great opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you for your application.
No problem.
Next, we have Donald Morris.
Commissioners, I wasn't sure what to bring, so I brought myself, and I also got copies of my resume, if anybody's interested. My name is Donald Morris. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. I've been a behavioral health nurse for 45 years. I currently work at New Oakland Family Services, and I hope they're not a competitor of Macomb County. I work on a crisis unit on midnights, and I'm dressed for work today because I'm going to go after work after this meeting. My wife is a retired medical biller, so I have the knowledge of insurance company issues and whatever. Anyway, I've had a lot of experience. I have a lot of stories, and when my wife saw this ad in one of the papers, she let me look at it, and I thought, my God, this is something I really would like to find out about. So I'm here today trying to find out more information. I think that's pretty much it. I'll be more than happy to answer questions.
Do you have an opinion on the central intake center over at the jail that's being built?
Yes, I do, sir. I am for it. Anything that we can do to centralize mental health, behavioral health services, especially in the corrections area, I'm in favor of.
Thank you. And thank you for your application.
Anybody want my
Mr.
resume?
Chair? Mr.
We have,
Chair? Mr. Chair,
yes,
can I ask a question?
please.
This gentleman works afternoons.
Oh,
The meetings are
midnights.
still going to be in the afternoon, Mr. Chair? The meetings, why don't I refer to the chairman here?
Thank you, Commissioners. You're going to ask my question anyway. We meet twice a month, Wednesdays at 6 p.m., and you work nights. Are you
I
available?
work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I have a flexible schedule.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Twice a month?
Second and fourth Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
No problem.
And that's a minimum. We also have other committee meetings and things like that, but the main 2 meetings are those 2 times.
Okay.
And thank you for your service all these years.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Commissioner Zinner.
Commissioner Zinner, did that answer your question as well?
If it answers his question, it takes care of me.
Thank you very much. Next is Kea Norrell-Aitch. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Kea Norrell-Aitch, and I am just happy to be here this afternoon. A little bit about me. I have a heart for service and passion for mental health and wellness. I am a 4-H educator with MSU Extension, and I have been there for almost 20 years. I love working with youth and adults who support youth. So if I was selected for this role, I would love to see mental health be incorporated more in schools and working with young people and have them be advocates for mental health and wellness. In addition to working for MSU Extension as an educator, I am a therapist within private practice. I am a professional counselor, and I work with teens and adults in helping them address their mental health challenges and work through their treatment plans. In addition to that, I am a mom. I'm a proud mom of my son Joshua, who will be a junior at Stevenson High School this coming year. I wear many hats within the community. I am very passionate about giving back, and I think this is a way that I can continue to contribute my skill sets and my passion for the community that I live in and that I love. Just a little bit more about me and my passion for working with individuals. I am a youth and teen mental health first aid instructor. Maybe you are familiar with mental health first aid. I'm an advocate for it, and it helps to incorporate skills to build on just common community members being able to support individuals dealing with mental health challenges and crisis. So that would also be a goal of mine, to try to implement that more within the county for county staff, county community members, and also youth within the community. Lastly, if I am selected for this role, I would hope to see 988 be promoted more as a resource for community members, and knowing that sometimes when individuals are experiencing crisis and mental health challenges, our minds go blank. So just having that information and the resources of community mental health along with 988 to be able to connect individuals with professionals that can help them through any challenges that they are experiencing. So I thank you for this opportunity, and I thank you to be here today.
Thank you. We have a question, Commissioner Howard.
I agree with the 988. There's several, like I just got done traveling and seeing billboards around the areas I was traveling with 988, or same thing with safe storage laws and stuff like that. Out of curiosity, looking at your packet, there's like, I don't know, I lost count, 10 or 20 grants that are listed in here.
Yes.
How?
Over the years, I've been with Extension for almost 20 years, and creating partnerships is huge, and having the ability to pull on those partnerships when it's time to request funding. So that has been a huge component of being able to write grants, and I just got better at it over the years, along with partnerships and coming together for a common goal. So that is a way that I've been able to establish that. And then once a grant has been secured, continuing that connection with the funder. So some of those grants have been renewal. So doing well within those objectives that were set for the grant, and then being able to go back to that same funder and ask for additional funding.
Yeah, I think, without pulling out a calculator, I think it was north of $5 million of grants that you have helped secure. And I really like the ACEs that you talk about.
Yes.
A lot of trauma and issues that adults face is
Correct.
linked to something that happened when we were 6, 7 years old, and
Yes.
just not consciously thinking about it. And I feel like a lot of work that some of my friends that work in that space have been doing is along the lines of ACEs
Yes.
and resolving adult trauma that's really stemmed from childhood issues. So
Correct.
thank you for your work.
Thank you very much for acknowledging that.
That's all, Chair.
And thank you for your application.
Thank you very much.
Next,
Commissioner, your question?
sure.
Your question.
Oh, yes. Come on back here. The Central Intake Center.
Yes, fully support and think that it's a good thing and a positive thing to have mental health services on site so that individuals maybe don't have to come in to provide those services, or I guess they can't really go out, but having it on site, I think is a very good idea. So I fully support it.
Thank you for that. Next is Lisa Rector. Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioners. Not used to microphone. So, my name is Lisa Rector. I'm an LPC here in Macomb County. I applied for this board position after being encouraged to do so by several colleagues. My career in mental health has spanned nearly 30 years. Most of that time has been providing crisis screenings. I've worked in Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne counties in a variety of settings, including the crisis line in Wayne County, mobile crisis team in Wayne County, freestanding screening center in Oakland County, and emergency rooms in both Macomb County and Oakland County, where I currently work. I believe I have insights that will contribute to that crisis area of the CMH. Additionally, my community outreach roles have taken me across the state, encompass programs that were both public and private insurance payer mixes. In working with clinicians, clients, and the public, I fielded a lot of system navigation questions, listened to concerns about perceived gaps in care. I believe clinical folks, patients, and families deserve clear information on process and will always work on improvements in that area. A treatment gap I personally observed was the lack of eating disorder treatment through the community mental health system, and the program that I worked was the first, it was a private payer residential treatment program for eating disorders. Here it was the first one in Michigan. But a vast majority of the calls that we got were people who had Medicaid or were involved with the community mental health system across the state, and we were just not able to provide services for them, and then not even be able to refer them back to treatment through the community mental health system because there was just a lack of it. And in my travels, I heard from a lot of clinicians that were kind of scrambling to get training in that area so that they could provide those services. So that's something I would always be a strong advocate for. Finally, from the beginning of my career, speaking of 988, since the very beginning has been work in suicide prevention, either clinically or through the Macomb County Suicide Prevention Coalition, working with the Kevin Song Conference. So I'll always be a strong advocate for especially clinical trainings like AMSR, mental health first aid, because that's something that sadly we don't get in our college training. And that's kind of reprehensible. But on the back end, I'm always an advocate for those clinical trainings. If I'm appointed to the board, I would be glad to bring my experience in these areas to serve the people of Macomb County. Thank you.
And the Central Intake Center question.
Through the work that I have done in the ER, it's a very necessary service. We don't want that back and forth, and we want them to get treatment. I do, where they are, and if that is where they are, then the treatment should be there.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your application. Next is Edlira Sako. Not attending. And the next one was Dr. Avin Yaldo, who is unable to attend. So I need a motion to refer all the names to full board.
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lucido, supported by Commissioner Howard, to refer to full board. Please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. To all the applicants, the vote will take place at our next board meeting, which will be this Thursday. So thank you very much again for your application. Next item on the agenda is contract Nickel and Saph Inc. Property insurance policy 69050, Nickel and Saph. So I will take A, B, and C and D together.
Motion to move to full board.
I have a motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, supported by Commissioner Lucido. Here you are again.
Here I am. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, commissioners. I have 4 contracts up for review and approval this afternoon. The first is the county property insurance policy. It is for an annual premium of $690,050. It was a question that came up the last time I was here, and I think it was Commissioner Romano. I think you asked me about the ratings. It may have been Commissioner Goike. Someone over here on the left asked about the ratings, so I thought I would jot the rating down for each of the insurance companies and provide that. So Affiliated FM has an A+ rating. And this policy basically operates to cover Macomb County property against all risks of physical loss or damage not to exceed $300 million cap. The next policy is do you want me to wait for questions with
No,
each
I'll
policy,
let
or
you
we'll
know
do
if
them?
Anybody has any?
Pardon me?
I'll let you know.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so moving right along. The cyber policy renewal. When I was here last month, we did a 1-month extension because we were having implementation of security issues at the jail. Those are ongoing. They're near complete, but in the meantime, our insurance carrier extended or renewed the policy for the full year. So this is the complete 1-year renewal. The policy premium is $171,245. And this is basically to protect Macomb County from losses resulting from computer fraud, cyber extortion, ransomware, cyber system failure. I would note, in the past 2 years, the policy premium, in 2023, the policy premium was $287,000. In 2024, it was $315,000, and this year it's drastically reduced at $171,000. So that was good news. And the rating for traveler's casualty is A+. The next policy is the government crime policy. This policy premium is $10,721, and this policy affords protection from financial losses related to business-related crime, including employee theft, forgery, robbery. That
Okay,
is,
now you have a question.
okay.
Commissioner Voino.
Just regarding the cyber
Sure.
security, is it a $5 million protection? Is that what it protects us against?
The limit,
Yes.
let me take a look at one of them. I thought I had included that. 1 second, let me take a quick peek. I thought I had included that in the memo. It's not included, and I don't have it in what I brought with me, but I can certainly provide that information to you.
Okay.
How would you like me to get that to you?
Email
Directly,
would be
or?
good. I thought I was in this, the policy 2025 that was attached. I mean, somewhere in
I
here,
think that you
it
may
looks
have
like-
the full packet. I didn't bring the full packet.
Okay. believe it says 5 million is the limit.
Are you seeing it in the actual, the binder?
Mhm.
Maybe if you could tell me where you're seeing it in your packet, I can confirm the amount.
In our packet, I would say there's several attachments, and one is
Mhm.
titled Macomb County Traveler Cyber Policy 2025.
Is it the complete policy or is it just the binder? Are you able to tell?
67 pages.
Yeah, there's 67 pages
Oh,
to it.
that's the full policy. That's not the binder.
Okay.
So, yeah, if that is reflecting 5 million as the limit, that's the full policy and that would be accurate.
Okay. So then I guess my follow-up question would be, is that limit benchmarked, as far as like a county of our size? Cybersecurity is a big, issue.
It is.
Whether it's businesses, governments feeling, the everyday hits against our firewalls and things like that. So I just want to make sure we have enough, that the dollar limit is going to protect us if we have any type of security incident against, county, our servers, our protected information, et cetera.
Sure. So our IT department, who has specialized knowledge about what our risks are related to cyber challenges. Our IT department and our insurance agent, Stephen Saph, work really closely with my office to make sure that we have the proper limits in place. And this is the limit that we have come up with. I think it was the same as our limit for last year. It's felt that at this point, given the safeguards that we have in place through IT, that this is the proper limit.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
And I think that before Commissioner Wino's question, I was about to get to the fact that Travelers Casualty and Surety Company has a A++ rating.
Well, any unanswered question, could you please send it to Kyle? And he can
Sure.
tell the board.
Sure.
Thank you. Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. You answered my first question, was whether the limit was the same, coverage was the same as last year.
Yes.
It's interesting that the premium went down to almost half. Is that because of efforts on the IT department to implement more safeguards, or did the vendor mention why?
Yes, it is due in part to the efforts of our IT department and the safeguards that they have in place countywide. So that is one of the factors. The other factor is basically just market competition has increased in CyberRisk because there are so many challenges out there related to cyber risks, and there are constantly new ways to infiltrate systems. And so there has, the market for cyber risk insurance has grown. And because of the growth and the competition involved, the rate has gone down. And this is the same carrier that the county has maintained for quite some time. So we haven't made any changes in carriers. It's just that market competition has driven down the cost.
I would have thought that the competition among the hackers would have driven the price up,
Right, good point.
but apparently not.
No.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Goike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for coming.
Oh, sure.
Our $690,000 on our property insurance, I looked up on there and I'm not very savvy on the computer, but what's our capital that we're insuring? Is the capital 100 million for 690,000? How much are we insuring value-wise for property?
Well, we have a $300 million limit. If you're asking the value of the assets, that's something I would have to get back to you on. I don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Sure,
Yeah, you can get that to Kyle too.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah, to see, for what, how much we got, so what's, and most understandably, some insurance companies say, well, you're not gonna lose all that assets at once unless it's something catastrophic, but, things do happen, and that's why I'm curious, just to make sure.
Sure.
Our buildings are spread out, so hopefully
Sure.
nothing goes all at once. If
Right.
it's 300 million, we're not replacing everything for 300 million.
No, I understand the reason for your question. I can get you an answer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, continue.
Okay, so I think that covered the first three, which brings us to our last contract, which is the package policy, which is, has a premium of $1,133,086,100. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. $1,133,086. This is the package policy that covers multifaceted solutions designed to address many of the county's needs under a single policy. It includes coverage for general liability, law enforcement liability. You might remember the last time I was here, we did a law enforcement excess policy. Historically, the county has always had a $10 million policy for law enforcement. This year, that carrier declined to offer the full $10 million policy limit, so we went with a $5 million policy, excess policy that the board approved last month. This is the law enforcement policy that is part of our package policy, and it has a $5 million limit. This package policy also includes automotive liability, errors and omissions liability, and sexual abuse liability. The insurance carrier is Pennsylvania Manufacturers, and they have an A+ rating.
Commissioner Zinner on the first round.
Thank you, Chair. So it looks like we're paying less money in several areas, and we're also getting less coverage.
We're not getting less coverage. We're getting the same coverage. We're getting a total of $10 million of coverage for the law enforcement liability. We're just getting it from two different sources. One is a $5 million limit that is contained in the package policy, which is here today for approval. The other $5 million policy was the law enforcement excess policy, which the board approved last month.
Okay, thank you.
All of the other coverages remain the same. We haven't reduced any of the coverages.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Commissioner Goike.
Thank you again. Simple question on the errors and emissions stuff. Are we commissioners also insured?
Yes.
All right.
That's the right answer, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Do you need to be?
You never
Right.
know.
Right, try not
My mouth
to,
gets pretty advanced sometimes.
try not to need it.
Chair 17, Commissioner Van Sickle.
How long has our coverages been the same?
For the package policy,
In particular for the 300 million for the properties.
for the cyber liability. Oh, the property, I'm sorry, property.
Yeah.
How long have the coverages been the same? Since at least 2023, which is when I took over at Corporation Counsel and assumed responsibilities for risk and insurance. If you want me to go back further and look, I can do that. I just don't know off the top of my head.
That's fine. Obviously, costs have gone up. I don't want to pay more insurance premiums, but on the other hand, if the value of the property, I mean, our properties have gone up in value, I assume, or at least the repairs have. Do we need to look at raising our insurance coverage?
I understand your question. It's something that our insurance agent looks at closely. There's an application that is involved in each of these policies, and there's a lot of documentation that I provide regarding county-owned location, leased properties, risks. One of the reasons we continue to do business with Nickel and Saph is because they have been the county's insurance agent for a very long time, and they're familiar with our risk tolerance, properties, new ventures that the county is involved in. So working with Nickel and Saph through the application process, providing them the documentation of the county's assets. I think that we are at the right coverage amount. If you want me to, like, I think your question began with, do we have the same coverage that we've had, or how long have we had the same coverages? I can certainly get that information for you. I don't know that going back further than 2023, which is when I assumed this role.
That would be good because either, it seems like either we were over covered before or we're under covered now if we've had the same coverage for quite a while. Just
Sure, I understand
a
your,
thought.
yeah, I understand your question. I will certainly get an answer for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Dina.
Hi, good afternoon.
Just a couple questions.
Sure.
So, first question I had was in regards to all the carriers themselves.
Yes.
Can we bundle more of our policies together with a larger carrier, or in the sense of getting a better price for economies of scale? Has that ever been
That's
tested?
not, when we are able to do that, as far as my knowledge, it comes through dealing with Nickel and Saph, Stephen Saph. If there are opportunities like that, he presents them, such as with the package policy, and kind of in the reverse order with the law enforcement liability policies. We weren't able to bundle those any longer or get that same limit in one policy, so we split it into two separate policies. It's certainly something I can discuss for next year.
Okay.
If there is a way to bundle more of our coverages into one carrier for purposes of savings, certainly I'll address that with Stephen Saph.
Okay.
It's not something that has come up in our discussions yet.
Okay. In regards to that law enforcement one, so you're saying in this current policy that we're looking at with the $5 million aggregate, we could not go any higher with this carrier?
Correct.
Okay, so that was their max.
Yes, they're not, and it's through no fault of our law enforcement. It's the carrier is not covering,
totally
yes, it's
understand.
not offering anything higher than that.
Totally understand. So cybersecurity, as Commissioner Voino was talking about, I've been particular about cybersecurity in the county and protecting us. So when I looked at your binder on this one, some of the provisions, were these provisions discussed with IT specifically as to them understanding exactly what the provisions were? I know you talked about limits, but I'm talking about specifically provisions relative to wait periods and restoration periods and everything like that?
Yes, in fact, IT does the bulk of the application related to the CyberRisk insurance, because there is so much involved in that, as you just described, that's outside of my knowledge. So I work closely with IT to make sure that we've gathered the correct information, that the understanding of what's involved is communicated to everybody involved, and that we get the right answers to the insurance carrier. Because the last thing that I want to find ourselves in the middle of is a situation where we're not covered for something because we didn't give the proper information during the application period.
Okay. And then the last question, I don't need it right now, but if you could just provide it to our staff, just any claims that we've made in the last 5 years, or last 3 years since you've been in
Sure.
this role, that would be very helpful, just to see what these policies, what we're spending our money on, and what we're actually, if we ever made any claims. I'm just curious based on what Commissioner Van Sickle said.
Sure.
With
Do
the
you-
volatility of the premiums.
And do you want that just for the cyber risk?
For all the ones that we're approving or moving forward today.
Okay,
So those 4 would be great.
sure, no problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner
welcome.
Perna.
Question, Nickel and Saph have been doing our insurance for 30 years, 40 years. When they put it out for bids, they make a recommendation to you as to the 2 or 3 preferred bids, and then you make the final decision?
What we usually do is Nickel and Saph puts the application out for bids in the insurance marketplace and will advise me on what they believe is the best option. And usually it is remaining with the same carrier, at least since 2003 when I began. The advice that I've been given is that we maintain the same coverage, the same carriers.
So do we come complacent where we've been with them, we should stick with them, or is it really an evaluation of what's on the market out there?
I think that Nickel and Saph presents us with the best options that meet our needs based on the quotes that they receive in the insurance marketplace. So there is some bidding involved by the insurance carriers in the marketplace in response to our applications.
So they'll do the screening and refer to you and you'll make the final decision. Or we will, but.
You do.
Right. But they'll make the recommendation that these are the three carriers, we recommend this.
Right.
You sign off on it and present it to the board then.
Essentially, yes. There is no outside bidding for the Nickel and Saph portion. If I think I
Well,
think
Nickel and
I-
Saph is the agent currently,
Correct.
but I believe we put that out for bids, do we not?
No, we don't. That's a professional services contract, and it's also, we have a longstanding successful business relationship with them that is the reason why we don't send that out for bid. It's one of the exceptions to the RFP process.
All right, I didn't know that. So they're locked in forever.
No, oh no, not necessarily. I mean, if we were unhappy with Nickel and Saph's advice, we could certainly open it up to the RFP process. It's just not something that, we haven't been unhappy with Nickel and Saph as long as I've been here. And you've been here longer than me, and you know that Nickel and Saph has been around for a long time.
Yes, I do. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jim's been here longer than they had the meeting.
I knew that was coming.
Commissioner Goik.
Well, back on that, I've, the insurance I got, anyways, there's big houses, like Barnum and Flowers. They're a big house that takes care of these kind of things. They do a lot of the townships and such, you know, and sometimes it's not a bad idea for, like Commissioner Perno was saying, to maybe shop it out to another, because they all make their 15% on it, you know. Yeah, but the other thing is, if we're happy, you know, are they shopping for the best? That's why I asked for the ratings the last time, and the A+ ratings tells, you know, you want to keep it up at that factor. But there are different houses, and then they present it to it. But, you know, as long as they're staying sharp, and that's your job to stay on top of them. But there are different places to go for it that specialize in counties and municipalities to do the same.
You'll all be happy to know in our new contracting ordinance that issues addressed. Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you. I've dealt with insurance agents in the past on a personal level, and there was never any fee that we paid. They were all commissioned by the insurance companies that they represented. Is that the way it is here?
Yes, we do not pay Nickel and Saph. Their fee structure is through the insurance carrier, not through us.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Dana. And if you could get those answers before Thursday's full board meeting, that would be appreciated.
Sure, I'll work on it.
Having a motion support, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Last time Dana went unscathed, not this time. Next item is amendment to Board of Commissioners social media policy. I need a motion to refer to full board.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Howard, supported by Commissioner Van Sickle. Seeing no speakers, please vote.
I am gonna speak.
Well,
I'm not on there.
I know that. Commissioner
My
Wallace.
microphone is on. Gotta look around. Yeah. Yes.
That's the signal.
For me it is. Thank you, Chair. So I'm sure all of you just jumped right in and read over this policy and saw some of the improvements that were made. Our social media policy committee got together and updated some things that we thought needed to be updated, as well as Commissioner Howard, our board chair, Crystal, and myself have met with Humphrey, and we will continue to do that so we can continuously make improvements in our social media and be that example for other departments. But if you look at the bottom of page 1 and number 4, where we talk about social media accounts administration, in order to avoid liability, the Board of Commissioner the BOC will not make comments post that. And we added support or oppose a political party, political action committee in there. And then if you go to the top of page 2, and this is where all of our changes have been put in for you to look over. But we also are adding in the ability to tag. Currently, we are not tagging anyone. We post, and that is just what it is. We will sometimes put a link in there to that other nonprofit or government entity, but we are not tagging. And after speaking on the committee, we think that tagging these specific groups, the nonprofit organizations and government agencies, will not only help our social media, but bring awareness to these departments or nonprofit organizations, especially the ones that we are supporting with our casual day funds. So we are adding in the tag, and then we have also added in just kind of as a blanket, and it's obvious, but needed to be put in there. We will not make comments or anything that violate the county's ethics ordinance. I mean, it goes without saying that we shouldn't do that, but it absolutely needed to be added in there. So, like I said, I'm sure you guys already read over this and are just jumping to approve it, but that is what we have here. So if you have any questions, let us know.
Thank you. Commissioner Howard.
She explained the ordinance well, our policy. My comments is really to the general public that may be watching. If you're seeing social media accounts, I just found one that some commissioners are also friends with this account that uses our seal, and it is not even a county employee, and they're using our seal on their social media accounts. I found them yesterday night, and so I didn't get a chance to send it over to you, Chair, but I had some residents reach out to me because there's 2 or 3 other Macomb County Scanner and some other things that give off the impression that they're Macomb County ran things, and sometimes they have given out misinformation or blatantly false information or wrong directions during national or not national events, but crisis moments and stuff like that. And residents have contacted me about that, demanding we take this stuff down, and I have to communicate to them that it's not us. And so I would just encourage, if we see that, let's flag that to the chair and even potentially the executive's office, so we can be proactive and get those things taken down, because there's accounts pretending to be us. But
Thank you. Good to know. I have a motion and support. Please vote. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Aye.
Do we need a voice vote?
Yep.
We can try it again.
Aye.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Thank you. Next item is proclamations. I'll take A and B together.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, supported by Commissioner Lucido. The first is a proclamation celebrating Sanders' 150th anniversary. Mr. Perna, would you like to speak to that?
Well, we all have been around many, many years, and for those that were around back 50, 60, 70 years ago, Sanders was the place to go for a hot fudge sundae. And now they're celebrating 150 years, so they'll be here on Thursday. I don't know if they'll bring any ice cream, but they might bring some fudge.
You better.
Ask him to bring
I'm sure
some.
you can make that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is a proclamation congratulating Noel Schieselman on her induction into the Olympic and Paralympic Hall of Fame. Commissioner or Chair Sabatini. That you? No, I don't see.
She's coming to full board, so.
Okay. Great. So I have a motion and support. Please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. It's now my pleasure to turn the gavel over to Chairman Kraft.
Thank you,
Finance,
Chair.
Budget and Audit Committee.
Thank you, Chair. Now that your side of the room is done, my side of the room can step up to the plate. We'll take items A and B together. I'll take a motion for the Central Intake and Assessment Center quarterly update and Finance Department quarterly finance report. I'll take a motion to receive and file.
Motion. Support.
Motion from Commissioner Wallace, support from Commissioner Romano. We'll start with the CIAC team. And Ben, we decided to give him.
Yeah, Ben gets a break, so Joe Mallory filling in for him.
Tired yesterday.
Thank you, Joe. Go ahead.
Yes, so this is, I actually get to cover Ben's favorite part because it's like 2 sentences that I get to say. So Ben is fond of saying this is his favorite meeting because all he has to do is introduce Plant Moran Real Point. So I'm gonna have Joe Asperger come up and start this. That's my whole spiel.
Joe,
Thank you,
thanks for
Commissioner.
inviting Joe.
Well, passing the buck.
Thanks, Joe. Job well done, as always. Thank you.
Is there another Joe you can pass it to in the audience?
No, not. There are several meetings where there are a lot of Joes around the table. I think we were at one recently.
Yes.
It was very enlightening.
Thanks, Joe. Go ahead.
Board, thank you for having us back to present our quarterly update on the progress of the Central Intake and Assessment Center. So much of this may seem like it's repeated, but we do just want to continue to reiterate our goals, objectives, where we're at and why we're here. I know some of you may be newer to the board and less familiar with the project, and so we do want to just kind of remind through, so I'll skim through that. But overarching, our mission here is to be able to, as kind of alluded to at the beginning of this meeting, is to be able to treat incarcerated persons relative to mental health and substance abuse issues. That is embodied in all of everything that we do and why we do it. And so as we continue to kind of make decisions along the way, not only when the design was done, but as the construction and everything evolves through that, we want to keep that at the forefront of our mind and the team members as well as yours. And so our goal is to be able to create a facility to do that. Beyond that, there's still a lot of work that individuals like Dr. Amboyer, community mental health, everybody is doing in order to, utilize this tool as a facility in order to be able to do that. And so still a lot of ongoing work that's happening in order from an operations standpoint and a programming standpoint to make this a reality before this begins to open in 2027. So overall, funding and budget still has not changed. The project team still is working within the $28.8 million budget. Again, a reminder of how that budget and funding came together in order to support this important program. I do continue to point you from a budget status standpoint that the project does continue to remain on time and within budget. We do continue on a monthly basis through our dashboard reports to provide a more detailed update of where that is. So the project financially and schedule-wise is in good shape. From a procurement standpoint, professional services, most of our professional services, as I had mentioned in the past, have been procured. We are currently working and in process of kind of moving into truly kind of the activation point of this. Much of construction still seems kind of early and coming out of the ground, but there's a lot of groundwork that still needs to happen relative to outfitting this, relative to FF&E, which is an acronym for furniture, fixtures, and equipment. And so we are working with various partners and kicking off that process to move into understanding how we furnish each of these, the equipment that it's going to take, existing equipment that may migrate from the jail or various departments that are moving over, expanding and such. So still a lot of groundwork to go through with that. And still coming up in 2026, we'll then think about, because there are areas that are renovating, areas that are moving, there will be some move management type services that will be procured next year in preparation for the activation of the building. From an actual more construction, equipment, and procurement type standpoint,
Technology, we're finalizing many of our technology packages and our procurement process. So much of that, some of that has already started with some of the early steps of migrating some of the technology. There's a data center that's in the jail that the other weekend was actually relocated and migrated over to the powerhouse, which is a redundant countywide. That enabled us to pull some of the technology, the fiber optic that actually networks all of these buildings throughout the service center together. So some of that early work was completed, which enables us to be able to move into the demolition phase of the project, which I'll talk about here shortly. But the rest of the technology, structured cabling, that's essentially the miles of cabling that it takes to activate computers and monitors and all of the security electronics and everything else that go along with that. We get into a lot of the networking equipment, different kind of procurement strategies around each of those, as well as our video surveillance portions of it. And as mentioned, we'll look to actually, we're in the process of kind of selecting and designing some of the furnishings. And moving into next year, we'll actually look at procuring many of those items along with equipment, things like fitness equipment, the metal equipment that'll outfit various parts of the building, as well as signage, interior dedication, all of that will be packages that'll come here in the future. As a reminder, you know, from a design standpoint, for those that are less familiar with the building and the campus, the annex to the west, as identified as demolished, has been completed. Very soon, maximum security in D block. Some of you took part in the kind of final commemorative basketball of Max versus D block last Friday. And so the courtyard and the rec yard that sits between those two wings is actually in the process of being opened up, mobilized by our demolition contractor. And soon, actually by next week, you'll start seeing some of Max security start to come down. So long-standing history and kind of a momentous moment in a transformation of how corrections was done to how it will be done moving forward. Soon thereafter, they'll move right into D block. Rehab is currently still occupied and is deferred until July of 2026 before that will actually be, that portion of the building will be demolished. Quick reminder of how the existing jail is positioned, the new central intake to the north and west. There are two secured parking areas, one of course to the east that will be used primarily by staff, as well as to the south and west along the service drive along adjacent to the radio building. Much of the visitor parking will be nestled in between the existing jail and that secured parking, as well as the shared parking to the south. Reminder of kind of the facade of really trying to transform the vision of what corrections looks like, and in a facility and a design that has less of a stigma of what corrections is to one that is more conducive to mental health treatment. Another view from a bird's eye view from the northeast. Along the existing building, you can kind of see the connector that will enable the internal transitions of staff and operations between the existing jail and the central intake center. Oh, skip quickly. And a view from the west. In the foreground, the new drive-through vehicle sally port and the 4-story central intake. A few interior views. At this point, I'm going to turn over to my colleague, Brian Wilkie. Brian is part of our, as a vice president within our firm, who's actively been working with the Granger team day in and day out, as well as the F&O team relative to the construction activities. And he's going to provide a brief update on the construction components of this.
Thanks, Joe. Afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the time. As Joe alluded to, I'll go over the construction updates. So for the Central Intake and Assessment Center, as you've probably seen if you've driven by, structural steel is ongoing, heading from the west side east. So as you can see from some of the photos here, The west side's up to the roof level where some of the screen wall steel is in place and working their way to the east side, as the topping out will be occurring in September. Concrete metal decking is going on each floor to facilitate all the concrete floors at each level. Those are ongoing now, and utilities that are being attached to those are being prepped for those slab placements. The basement level and the first level also is getting all the underground utilities prepped, and for electrical, plumbing, and any water that's going to be needed for those slab placements as we start kind of working our way from the bottom up here. Backfilling below grade has been ongoing. It should be about ready here in the next couple of weeks, and all the site work is ongoing for stormwater and site sanitary. Mechanical, electrical, plumbing trades for rough-in, so working through the BIM process, they kind of get exact locations where everything's at, and they're prepping that ahead of time for efficiency standpoints. So that's been going really well. As you kind of see on the pictures on the right, that's the large crane there to the right, and they're just where they're erecting some of that steel, and then you have another view below. A couple other photos we've got for you. So as you see there, more and more steel. We're going to be keeping on steel for the next month. The smaller picture that's kind of team to the right here, you've got teams installing that screen wall steel. So that is galvanized because it is exposed to the weather, and it's going to kind of hide all the air house units up there so it doesn't look bad from the street view. And it'll keep them from getting bad winds and things like that, protects them from some of the weather. Additionally, here you can see the metal deck that I was referring to. That'll get the concrete placed on it for the concrete floors. Some of the areas that you see with the screen wall material will actually get a lightweight concrete that then gets roofing material over top of that. On the upper right-hand corner, those are some manhole catch basins that are being stored for the stormwater system for that 100-year storm requirement. That is ongoing and going well. And then below is just additional metal decking for probably the third floor there as the structure comes together. For the capital improvements portion of this, ongoing work inside the existing jails to maintain and kind of bring it up to some better standards as well. So some temporary walls have been put up in place between the areas in which all the demo is going to be occurring to make sure we have a secure and safe site. So that is ongoing. The utility replacement is completed in A pod and is ongoing in B pod as we're working through the sanitary, water rework, and ductwork reworks as well. The exterior sanitary sewer replaced along the south side of the jail and is replaced the property room and all the budget areas. So all the interior work that had to be done, slabs are placed back, and we're updating the finishes. The electrical duct bank from the powerhouse to the jail has been completed, and they're working on pulling wire for the new power feeds to go to that. And then, as Joe had alluded to earlier, the countywide data transfer did occur. I think they were shut down for 24 hours, so that's quite the move for all the different strands they had to put in to make that fiber work. So plenty of spares as well, just in case if there's ever issues down the road. Some of the pictures you see here on the pictures, the upper left, that is the shooting range that is going to be revamped and reworked, brought up to some better standards and to current standards. In the right-hand corner, that's an example of some of the chases that the teams are working in to update and upgrade some of the piping, making sure that they function properly. So the construction teams are working great in tight areas, working safely to maintain the jail. The lower area, that is the natural gas skid that is in place, and the meters from Consumers Energy to help refeed the current system. Some of the photos here, these are all the duct banks going from the existing jail back to the powerhouse. You can see some of the trench boxes for some of these deeper excavations for safety purposes, as well as you can see the concrete formworks with the red dye on top alerting for the high voltage. Excavations ongoing, and you can see site fences maintained to keep a proper site. As far as the schedule goes, as Joe's kind of alluded to a couple different times, we are tracking and making sure we're keeping a close eye on the ARPA funding that expires at the end of 26. So we're trending towards that to make those goals. Demolition, as Joe has also alluded to, has started. Actually, they're doing building separation activities and starting to get working on those today. So those will be ongoing as the mass demolition gets moving. Moving down into current activities on the CIAC. Steel erection is ongoing, should be ongoing for the next couple months as they finalize detailing and prep work for the precast. The concrete slab on grades will also be ongoing. They're going to be working concurrently on that, the roofing and the precast facade, which was mentioned at the last meeting as well. And exterior windows will start to go, and interior work will be ongoing through the winter months and all the way to completion. Any questions on the construction portion, if anybody has anything?
I think we're okay for now.
All right,
If
good.
we have some later, we'll bring it back up.
Okay, can't wait.
Thank you.
A couple things that I just wanted to point out, and having worn a facility hat for almost 20 years, and I think of guys like Joe and our IT department and everything else. One thing I want to point out with this duct bank type work, a lot of the existing electrical that service from the powerhouse in the past was actually directly buried underground. And so some of the risk that has is when there's excavation, when there's work that happens, there's risk that's associated with that. And some of those were practices that, at the time and all that kind of stuff were very normal. But, having learned lessons over the years, a practice of this is actually not only just trenching across through there, but this is actually concrete encasing this primary electrical service that feeds this building. That not only is it have warning and all that kind of stuff, that it helps to prevent and mitigate risk, both for electrical service as well as for your communication and fiber optic networks that interconnect these. And so I just want to point that type of thing out. Ongoing things like in the upper right, where there's these tight chases that are working in the sanitary work that's referred to on the south side. These are ongoing maintenance type things. The sanitary and the plumbing is the most challenged system in this jail. And the amount of time that F&O and contracted services and everything have in servicing and maintaining and dealing with that are all being mitigated through efforts like this of upgrading in the investment and upgrading this piping, upgrading these sanitary systems and everything else to mitigate downtime and operational inefficiencies. Last update relative to operations. The Sheriff's Office has been a tremendous partner dealing with these ongoing disruptions of what's happening in the jail. Lieutenant Santini, Captain Gornicki have been working very closely and actively with our teams in the movement of inmates, the ability of having contractors working in their space actively, the risk of downtime, those type of things. And so they have been phenomenal at doing that. Part of that process, as we've reported in the past, has been relocating some of the inmates to other counties in support. Again, these other counties have been very supportive and very cooperative with the efforts that are going on here. So, again, kudos to all of those involved in that, but it shouldn't go unsaid the amount of effort that's happening in these temporary moves and operations. So this is to, not just with inmates moving, but this is all of the support services that happen within it, whether it be mental health or dental or any of those medical type things that happen. There's a lot of movement and a lot of shifting in order to make this construction happen. So with that, we'll open up to any questions that you may have.
Thank you, guys. Commissioner Ha.
Thank you, Chair. I noticed on one of the dashboards it had Builders Risk Policy Insurance, Nichols and Saph. I'm assuming that's nothing that we approved earlier. So what does this do?
Operationally, it would not have been approved with Dana and such. It was the builder's risk policy was something that was approved. This again is just a temporary policy that is issued as part of the construction effort. So any risk of what may happen, during the course of the construction. So, in fact, Dr. Amboyer just shared an article recently of a penitentiary in Nebraska, I think it was, where, high winds actually ripped off and blew off the roof. And so in the course of construction, there are things that happen, that aren't the contractor's fault, aren't our fault, those type of things. And so there is risk. And so there is a builder's risk policy that is in place and is not redundant to any other policies that you are doing as part of your normal operations.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Seeing no other speakers, you guys are all set.
Off easy. All right. Fantastic.
Piece of cake. Thank you to the whole team. We appreciate the update and all the work that's going on. Next, we have Vicky with the quarterly finance report. Go
Good
ahead.
afternoon, Commissioners. Joe, you want to come back up and do?
It's worth a shot.
I know. Thank you for having me here today. I am here to present at this time our quarterly report. I will keep it brief and then take any questions that you may have within the quarterly report. If you look at the first section, that is our revenue report through June 30th of this year. One thing to note on the first page, we are now reporting both our unassigned fund balance and then our assigned fund balance. So you have that, and so that we're consistent from here on out. When you look at revenue staying within the general fund, we're just under 18% overall for the year. From a dollar-wise perspective, we're actually on track a little more than we were last year at that point. So I think that is consistent. For general fund revenues, when you look at some of the categories where we're collecting funds in, obviously there are our property taxes, but right now it's a low part of the year. We have the liquor taxes, there's charges for services that you start to see coming in, as well as some investment income within that area. Overall, throughout all the funds that we collect revenue for, we're just under 32%. And again, from a dollar perspective, we're checking in the same arena as we did last year at this point in time. For our expenditure report, again, just focusing on mainly within our general fund area. Again, we're actually a little bit under budget when you'd expect us to be at 50% or so. We're right around 33% within our general fund. Overall from last year, a little higher than at this point within that time frame. The expenses are broken down in your report by personnel and then also by our operating expenses. If you look at the personnel numbers, that's ranging closer to the 50%, as I think you would expect for being halfway throughout the year, and those expenses being consistent month over month. Through all funds, we are just over 34% with our expenditures. The largest portion of the packet is the budget amendments. So those are all provided in here that have been brought forward to the board at this point throughout the year. You have the vacant position list, which as of June 30th, there were 183 vacant positions. Again, the report lists by department and how many within each department. And then the last major component of the quarterly report is the capital projects plan with the funding that was allocated by the Board of Commissioners. And again, the majority of those projects have come before the board this year for approval with budget amendments. And then I also give a monthly update to Chair Sabatini, Commissioner Hahn, and Commissioner Kraft as well, so that they have more up-to-date numbers as we're moving through the capital plan. I will entertain any questions if you have any.
Vicky, thank you for the report and the update and the constant communication with us. I greatly appreciate it. I know we do too. And I also, before we get to questions, want to thank you for adding that box at the top. I know we've had a conversation about that. Many of us have had that conversation for a while now, and we appreciate you putting that there.
No, you're welcome.
Commissioner Howard.
I was going to say thank you for adding the box, but it's being polite. It really helps. The other question that I did have is there's a few line items where it talks about the opioid settlement funds. Do you know what the actual total is? Because I was trying to nail down what the specific total was, and I wasn't sure if where it says substance abuse on page 1, if that was referencing the opioid funds, or what is our remaining balance for the opioid settlement funds?
Let's see where that's broken. I will have to check where that is at.
Okay, that's fine.
Within
So
there.
like on page 1 where it says substance abuse, September 30th year end, that's not referencing the opioid funds?
The 29, it could very well be. I would just want to check the numbers and that doesn't include anything else
Okay, great.
from other departments in there. Because there might be a CMH piece in there as well for a little portion that comes into the county.
Thank you. That's all, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Chair Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Hey, Vicky.
Afternoon.
Just want to say a couple words. You know, Vicky has taken on this new role and has been asking a lot of questions. And through this process, I couldn't say anything that everyone doesn't know, but she's just doing a fabulous job. Just the constant communication, not only with the CIC project and everyone that's that's in the crowd, because they're doing a great job. I'm in monthly meetings with them as well, and you know, all the meetings and everything that happened behind the scenes to get us to this point. And I mean, we asked for a simple, you know, fund balance, and Vicky delivered. Those are just the things that we're working collectively towards a solution. But it makes our jobs a lot easier. We're all in communication. We're in communication with the executive. And all these things are just moving in the right direction. So I just kudos to Vicky. She's been managing this behind the scenes, smiling when she probably doesn't want to smile, but always smiling. So just wanted to give her 2 thumbs up. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thanks for the support and conversations. I appreciate that too. Helps tremendously.
Thank you. And with that, we don't have any other questions, so please vote.
Commissioners, under the system didn't receive your vote. If you'd like to voice vote, I can add it.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to item 11A, CIAC project, budget amendment, general fund balance. I'll take a motion to recommend that to full board.
So moved.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Wallace, support from Commissioner Howard. Vicky, go ahead.
Good, thank you. In keeping with our planning with the board for the CIAC project, this is your quarterly budget amendment for the general fund dollars that we have expended through that project. This quarterly report also runs in timing with the CIAC quarterly report. So when you're looking at the dollars spent, these are dollars spent from April 16th of this year through July 15th of this year. And based on the accounting that we have done, our general fund actuals that have been spent to date through July 15th for the entire portion of the project is roughly $14.5 million. The board had already allocated roughly $13.3 million of general fund dollars. So we have a balance for these new expenditures in the last quarter of the $1,167,152 that we are seeking a budget amendment for. And the majority of the expenses in this quarter, as they are where our general fund is tagged, is within professional services. So that's for our architects, Metro Technology Services, as well as Plant Moran, some environmental companies that do assessments for us. You have some payroll in there, as well as we have some costs when you look in the furniture and fixtures category that's related to shelving that has been needed within the project for some of the moves going on in the jail, as well as I know in the previous presentation they talked a bit about the fiber movement, and the cost that's in there for this month is relative to the fiber that is associated with the CIAC project specific. And with that, I'll take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Vicky. I see no, Commissioner Howard. I knew if I hit that button enough, somebody would pop up.
You know, it's slow. Question in regards, just because this is a general fund budget amendment, even with the presentation that was presented, we're scheduled to expend our ARPA dollars by 2026.
Correct.
And I don't know the regulations behind it, but one of my fears with that is that there are municipalities and schools that are having ARPA dollars clawed back. Like Michigan schools lost $7 million that was clawed back from ARPA dollars. Is there any risk for us to see the ARPA dollars being clawed back for any reason, where we would have to kick in more general funds to supplement?
Not that we've been made aware of, no.
Okay.
No, we're keeping up with our reporting and between our ARPA dollars with the Public Works project and then with the CIAC projects where they're starting to see more dollars and activity come in with our reporting and what we're actually asking to be reimbursed for. So no indication at this time that we would have any issues with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Van Sickle?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Vicki.
Hello.
How about the state money? Is there any requirements on that? I don't remember quite. The 40 million from the state.
The 40 million from the state right now, we have started billing them. And at this point in time, again, there's no indication that there's any concerns with spending those dollars down within
Okay, so
the
the
funding
state money
category.
we don't have.
Correct.
And we bill them.
Correct.
After the fact.
Quarterly, yes. Yep,
And then
quarterly
the ARPA
reimbursement.
money we do have.
Correct. We have it in its entirety.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Commissioner Van Sickle, to follow up on that, I did some poking around with some of my colleagues at the state just to see if any budget whatever's that's happening within the next month could affect our dollars, and they said no. It's all been appropriated in a previous budget, so we should not have anything to worry about there. Because some of us had some heartburn over that. Me in particular.
Sure.
Vicki, you're all set. Thank you
All right.
very much.
Great. Thank you all very much.
Seeing no more
Thanks.
speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Next is item 12. I need a motion to receive and file open bids as of August 19th, 2025.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Haw, support from Commissioner Lucido. See no questions. Commissioners, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Next is public participation. Anybody from the public wishing to speak? You have 3 minutes to talk about anything you want. All right, seeing nobody from the public, we will close public participation and move on to commissioners' comments. Any commissioners wishing to speak? Okay, seeing none, I'll pass it over to Commissioner Haw. He loves this part.
Thank you, Chairman. This is our first of 2 closed sessions. I need a motion to go into closed session with corporate counsel to discuss privileged and confidential attorney-client communications from Corp Counsel dated August 14, 2025, and Macomb County Circuit Court Case Number 2019000-524-CD, Tudor versus County of Macomb. So I need a motion to go into closed session. I don't blame you. I don't want to do it either.
Motion
I
by
have a motion
Goyke,
by
support by
Commissioner
Groves.
Goyke, supported by Commissioner Groves. Please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Okay, we are in open session. I need a motion.
Chair, I'll make the motion to accept Corporation Counsel's recommendation in regards to case number, or Macomb County Circuit Court case number 2019-000542-CD.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lucido, supported by Commissioner Romano. Any discussion? Please vote.
I have all of them.
Motion passes 13-0.
Where were you?
Somebody missing?
She said it 13-0.
I thought I haven't.
We're good.
Motion passes 13-0.
Didn't see it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Now I need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Howard, supported by Commissioner Lucido.
We were in unison.
Please vote.
Motion to adjourn?
Don't you dare.
Oh, we have
We have a
another
motion
He's
by
going to read some numbers, numbers.
Wallace. Yes, we can do it to adjourn. Who said? All in favor or adjourn?